processing in Nigeria before now has been said to be the poorest herb in part of the food chain. When you talk of farming, of course, you cannot go away from food processing, which has been what stakeholders has been advocating for farmers to be able to go a step further and ensure that some of their items are being processed for maximum profits. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at Nigeria's food processing hub and its impact or effect on the Nigerian economy. To discuss this with us on the program is our guest, Mr. Gabriel Dakolo, is going to be telling us, he has been one of those stakeholders that has been talking about the need for farmers to take it a step further and ensuring that whatever they put on the floor, they're able to, get a maximum result, or so to say, a profit from it. And food processing is one way to do that. Quickly, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue the program. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, Nigeria's food processing hub and the impact on the economy is what we'll be looking at, and our guest is already seated. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, food processing in Nigeria is one major, profit-laden sector of agriculture that everybody, I'll say the train is moving towards that, that sector now, that area of agriculture. And then we know that major reasons why before now has been an issue with processing is because of lack of infrastructures like light, water, and the rest of it. But if you look at it, despite all of this and government intervention, no doubt, we've been seeing, stakeholders coming in to thrive, see how they can, awaken this and make the sector whole. In all of it, how do you assess Nigeria's, sector as regards this?
The food processing sector or food processing part of agriculture is one of the less developed and the most profitable of the chain. And over the years, maybe due to involvement of government with private sector and the rest, we have started seeing gradual changes in the way food processing is coming up. We have traditional companies, for example, that are into all forms of food processing, food input and the rest, that are trying their best to scale up, to increase production in all those sectors. But one interesting thing is that probably in the past 5 to 7 years, due to government intervention in some key sectors, agricultural sectors and products, we have started seeing marked improvement. I'll give you some examples. I want to dwell in the rice production, for example. You've discovered that due to government interest and encouragement in the area of rice production, knowing fully well that rice is the most sought after staple that Nigerians eat. So over 7-8 years to now, government has partnered and more private sector has also come in to improve processing, local processing of rice, and we now see a situation whereby those rice that are being farmed are now bagged, and the beauty of it is that they are now labeled made in Nigeria. And based on research and eyewitness account of those that have tasted those rice products, they have considerably said that it can measure and stand side by side with the foreign imported ones. We have seen that they are long grain rice and they are of the highest quality that can withstand anyone from anywhere in the world. That is one of the beauty of food processing. I was very glad last week when one of them, I think Bull Rice or thereabout, was advertising on the national TV, and he said, "Proudly Nigerian." These are the kind of things we want. If we have more of these products, Nigerian food products, rice mills all over the country, it will get to the extent that we do not need hard-earned US dollars to import rice into this country. Now, being that as it said, you look at other sectors, other agricultural products that need to be improved upon. I was reading the interview that was made with the MD of Nexim, that is Nigeria Export and Import Bank, Mr. Mohammed Bello. And it was intriguing, based on the interview, that as an arm of government in the finance sector, they are doing so much in the area of improvement of our agricultural processes, in the sense that they have what they call Next Hub now, and they have a policy in place that they call PAVE, produce, add value, then export. What does that mean? I was intrigued when I read it, because when we have a situation whereby farmers can key into this kind of plan, it makes it easier for them to be able to even have economic prosperity on the long run. A farmer, just like I've said earlier, that can produce the crops, that can add value to it, and that can export it, is likely to make 150% or 200% gain on that product if he can do that, unlike when he's just sending it as a raw product. So, and that is where Nexim has come in the sense that they also have facilities to give farmers that are interested in that regard at a single-digit interest rate, to be able to encourage them to export. You know, the bottom line of agriculture in Nigeria is that I do not believe that Nigeria, in some key products, we have achieved self-sustainability and we have capacity to export those products. When you look at cocoa seedlings, others, Benny seed, cashew, and all those other products, you see that Nigeria is one among the highest producers of these products in the world. Some of them, we have not been able to add value to them. That is why our farmers have not been able to reap the required profit that is supposed to come with it. And the government has not also been able to enjoy the economy of scale and the foreign inflow that should have come into it. And that is where this Nexim interview came in, and I saw how far and the extent they are going. Now, if a farmer can embrace that, based on what I read, it also states that it will get to a point whereby when the farmer exports these products that have been improved upon, that have been processed, by the time they want to use the proceeds to buy maybe the raw materials or whatever for their next production or for their machinery and the rest, that they will come in at no cost to them. That Nexim is ready to bring it in for them at no cost. Because what it does is that when there is more export of Nigerian products, it increases our balance of trade. Why Nigeria has been struggling with having enough foreign currency today is because we import more than we export. And that has been the challenge of the economy. And agriculture is supposed to be a major driver of export in Nigeria because we have the raw material. When we talk of agriculture, we talk of mining, and then we talk of oil. So when there is concerted effort, both by government and the farmers, to make sure that our products are improved upon, they are added value upon before they are sold, both locally and internationally, then the farmer will smile to the bank. It will improve our credibility as a country, and the government will enjoy the benefits of the repatriated foreign currencies that is going to come with it. Nigeria has gone far, and just like I use Nexim as an example, there are agencies of government that are also interested in ensuring that farmers that are interested are able to get the needed assistance to be able to do this. And we have seen over time as well that local production of some of these products, we've seen sugar, for example. We have seen companies like Dangote Sugar, BOA, and all the others that have sugarcane plantations now, and they are processing from their own farms to be able to process it to sugar and be able to brand it to sell it in Nigeria and West Africa and the rest. This impact is really improving the Nigerian economy. When you see that most of these food chains that we are now talking about, that is agricultural food chain, has now improved drastically the employment rate in Nigeria, and also it has improved our GDP, because some of these products are exported and they are contributing to the economic development of the country.
With the contributions, like you said, of the sector, in Nigeria, we see that even with the local production of these items like the rice you cited to be one major, still the primary, because like you know, Nigeria, rice is one of the major food. Sugar is another that is very expensive. Yet we see that refineries, they're having a local production in Nigeria. For example, we have the Dangote refinery for sugarcane in Nasarawa, just close by Edo, still under, but the plantation is so wide, and we have other companies too who are trying to come up to see that they pick one or two produce and ensure that they put it back into our final product. Yet the prices are high. Where do we start from?
Yes, the cost of those finished products. The cost of those finished products as a result of the economic situation that Nigeria is presently. You know that most of those inputs for this production are not 100% locally sourced. And when they are not 100% locally sourced, it means that part of them are imported into the country. And when they are imported, it means that the exchange rate, the going exchange rate at that time is what will be used to be able to import those products into the country, the raw materials. The second aspect is the energy cost of running those factories. We know what it costs to procure even the electricity from the distribution companies now, with them putting some in band A and others in other bands. We know what it costs. And we also know what it costs to run a manufacturing plant, for example, on diesel generators. So when you look at the cost of the two, you will know that when you combine energy cost with the going rate of exchange to the dollar and continuous challenges of security and other things, the prices of these products might not come down as we want or as we wish, except other factors are getting better in the economy to be able to bring down these prices. In the past 2 months, we have seen prices of some food items coming down a little bit because of government intervention in ensuring that the exchange rate is becoming more, and the naira is gaining more strength. And when naira gains more strength, it means that when people are importing raw materials, for example, they import at a lower rate, and that can be translated to the cost that those products will come out for. So it will take time, because there are so many other factors that affect local production in Nigeria that makes it not as competitive as those that are coming from abroad. You can just imagine, just like I said, that Nigerians are now producing our rice, and it can measure with other imported ones. But you discover that the price is nearly the same. Why? Why is it so? It's because of these measures, the problems that we're having presently, foreign exchange challenges, energy, and the rest.
Okay, yes, on that note, I hold your thoughts. Quickly, we'll go on a break. The discussion is getting more tense. When we return, we'll continue. Stay tuned.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria (ARCN) coordinates the activities of research institutes and is responsible for supervision, regulation, coordination of research activities and programs of higher institutions in Nigeria. And Professor Hamidou Shaributu, since assumption as Executive Secretary of ARCN in April 2020, has solidified the transformation of agriculture in Nigeria through strategic and meaningful execution of research fundings for improvement of the agricultural sector.
For grains, we have the parabolic solar dryers. These are specialized solar dryers used for drying agricultural produce such as whole grains, yam and cassava chips, fruits and vegetables more efficiently. It is made of a special material that concentrates the rays of the sun within the enclosure while eliminating harmful ultraviolet radiation. Products dried are free from contaminants and are hygienic.
The parabolic shaped solar dryer is a need-based technology because virtually when we travel all over the country, you will see by the roadside, you see people drying all sorts of agricultural produce. Some spread their own on bare ground, and by the time the vehicles are moving, the dust stay on the products. The reptiles will come, they will eat whatever they can eat, drop their feces and their urine on it, and the owner comes in the evening to pack everything together and still eat that product. And the product has been contaminated, and we feel this is not right, and it is part of our mandate to make sure that we set it right, and that was what led to this, so that we can solve this problem at the grassroots level. Instead of drying by the roadside, drying on just bare ground in their villages, when they have this as a drying center, everybody in the community can bring their product there, spread on the tray, and they get it dry under hygienic condition that is covered. And the dryer also have another property to screen the ultraviolet ray of the sun, which is also can cause hazard to human health.
Since then, Professor Shaributu has operated as visionary captain by restoring the council's glory with the first ever agricultural television and radio station in Nigeria, with well-equipped studios parading state-of-the-art equipment.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria also has a brand new electronic library to further promote research and visualizations of deep thoughts on agricultural development in Nigeria.
The museum, located in the Senator Abdullahi Adamu Center, is an agricultural museum saddled with the responsibility of keeping records of agricultural findings, discoveries, researches for continuity and history purposes.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is wearing a new look under the stewardship of Professor Garba Hamidou Shaributu, who says, "Alone, I am nothing, but together, I am something." ARCN,
promoting agriculture.
Yes, welcome back. Yes, we're still talking about finished products and how the sector has been. Our guest has spoken to us about the price range and factors that made it so that even the Nigerian products are still on the high side, competing at a very close range with that of the foreign ones. He mentioned some infrastructural issues to be part of the factors, looking at electricity tariff, looking at availability of good roads, looking at water supply, and a host of others. Exchange rate is one major one, as well as most of these factories have their machineries imported and the rest of it. Going forward now, what should we fall back on?
The truth is that in as much as government is encouraging local production, improvement on food production, adding value to these products, there should also be enabling environment. Enabling environment needs to be created by the government, just like we've seen the central bank trying as much as possible to ensure that the naira gains strength against the US dollars. There are other measures that should be taken into consideration, like ease of doing business, ensuring that there is a harmonious relationship between the local communities and the manufacturing companies, ensuring that security is nipped in the bud, insecurity is nipped in the bud, ensuring that the energy crisis does not consume the profitability of these companies. That is very, very important. When this is done, what it does is that it encourages other people to come into the sector. And when we have other manufacturing companies coming to improve the food production sector, it will make it to be more available to the people, and competition will increase. When competition increases, it means that we have so much available for local consumption, and we also have so much available for export, and the government will at the end of the day reap the full benefits of it. Not only in export proceeds that is going to come in, but the government will also be able to improve on its tax revenue on those companies, and will also be able to achieve the ability of engaging more Nigerians out of unemployment to these companies that are into food processing. So the government needs to give to an extent where there will be a good opportunity for more investment in this sector. There is no investor, for example, that will come into a sector knowing fully well that he might not be able to reap the benefits in the next 2, 3, 4 years and still go ahead. Because investors are not NGOs, they are not charitable organizations, they are in for the profit. So the government needs to come out to bring an enabling environment, ease of doing business, community relations, tax waivers if possible, for those companies to come in and be able to add value to the food processing sector, and join those that are already in the sector to improve the economy of the country. If this is done, we will have a situation whereby when we are producing so much, there is no way the price will not come down, and there is no way that we will not be able to have enough to export.
Like you had said, if every of these comes down on the area of, we know that we have this syndrome, quote unquote, waiting for government.
Yes.
And every sector is always waiting for government. What's your word for prospective manufacturers coming in to hit the ground running in the manufacturing industry as regards agriculture? Yes.
What I see is that Nigeria is still one of the most profitable country when it comes to food processing or any other venture, because we have the economies of scale to back it up. One, our population is an advantage for us. Two, in the agric sector, we have enough variable land to be able to go around, to be able to go about agricultural practices. Three, we have enough hands, in the sense that enough experienced hands. We have enough educated people. We have enough experts in the field to be able to use that. You might not need to import labor to be able to perform very well in food processing in Nigeria. And therefore, the wages are competitive as well. Nigerian workers are very considerate, to the extent that the wages you are going to pay them will be far less than what you are going to pay an expatriate, and be able to have your profit margin on the long run. And just like you said, without waiting for government, investors can also take advantages of the opportunities that are in these sectors to be able to start growing. If the government sees investors that have started committing to a particular processing area, then the government will have no other option than to support, instead of waiting for government to first go ahead and roll out the plans. So I believe that investors in foreign investors and local investors as well should be able to do their feasibility studies, should be able to look at the inherent benefits in food processing in Nigeria and take advantage of it, because we have a population that can buy those products if they are produced at a competitive rate. We also have a market in West Africa that is also very, very enhancing, that is a lucrative market, both in West Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. So for anyone that wants to invest in food processing in Nigeria, I still believe that on the long run it will be a win-win for such an investor.
Thank you so much for coming on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, that's it on the program. Join us again same time, same station next week. Don't forget to like our YouTube page and send us your comments and observations. I remain your host, Khadija Oluwatoyin. Saying bye for now.